All right, we're working on our 1967 Camaro. UK Camaro is what we're calling it because it's going to the United Kingdom. It's going over to Bristol, England. And I'm doing a lot of patchwork on this rear end. You can see right here, if I get my tools out of the way and I don't fall off my chair, but you can see right here that this is a section that we're replacing. You want to watch the video on that if you got to replace a sectional quarter panel, just a little section in it. And then over on this side, of course, we're replacing the whole quarter panel and the inner fender well on this. And then we're going to section in part of the tail light panel where it's screwed up. So that's a big major repair right there. You want to watch that and be able to see what's going on if you have to do that type of work. But if you look at this quarter panel here, it's in pretty good shape. It's original metal. It's all factory OEM. All the sheet metal on this car is original. We want to keep as much original sheet metal as we can. And you see I'm just going to replace that one section there that was crushed in and rusted out. Now, if you look over here in this corner, right there, you're going to see where I pulled a dent out right there. It was all crushed in. We're going to ride up a little bit higher, and look what we got right here. We got another dent right on the corner. There's a dent, and there's a dent. So we got three major dents, and when I say major, I'm talking about this one right here being right on this body line. It hit right on that body line that comes around. And what we need to do is we need to pull that baby out because we're not going to replace this section. All right, we're not going to do it. There's no need to, there's no sense to. It's a major situation when you got to get inside all this and cut all this out just to put this quarter panel on. We're not doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that dent out, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pull this one out as well. I've already pulled the one on the bottom out, and I thought, you know what, let me show how this is done to make it real easy and simple. We got 1, 2, 3 dents here. Now this one here we might be able to hammer out from the inside. But this one here and this one here are very, very extreme, and I'm going to show you how to pull those out.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Now, what's required for this type of a pull is either a cutting torch or a propane torch that can get really, really hot, because we're going to heat this metal up, and then I'm going to use a certain tool to pull that out with. And let's get down the road, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So the first thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and drill a series of holes where your pulls are going to be. I'm going to drill a couple holes here, and then I'm going to come up here and drill some more holes here. And you got to kind of, when you drill the holes, you want to place them in a place that's going to do the most pulling. Don't just start drilling holes. You want to look at it and say, okay, if I got to get real close to this edge, so I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one in the middle. I'm going to put one over here, and then I might put one in between each one of those. And then on this one here, of course, we're going to put it right in the center where it got hit. And then I see the sharp edge right here that comes down. There's a dent right there, so this is a double whammy job. We're going to put one right there. And then we'll probably put one on the outer edge of this. And that'll probably work on that one. We're going to take our torch or our propane bottle, whatever you got handy. We're going to get the flame going on that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to heat that up cherry red. You want to move your torch very quickly, and you want to keep it moving. Do not burn any holes into the metal. Now, if you can see how how cherry red that is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a special tool. It's called a hook pull tool. You can buy these. Let me go ahead and get that. I want to heat it up again. Because we're going to pull this out by hand. We are not going to use a slide hammer. I'm going to start right here in the middle. We'll pull it out. You can see it coming out. It's actually cooling down a lot faster than I expected it to. Let's go ahead and get it a little bit bigger around the edge. You got to be able to move your torch, all right? And you got to pull that out while it's hot. You got to be able to pull that dent out while it's hot, while it's cherry red. You can see how that dent's coming out. And I'm moving my tool around inside there. I had the hook facing me like that. All right, I had the hook facing like that. Now I turned it around and it's facing the other way. I want to be able to get right here on this edge. I'm going to hook it in there. I'm going to pull it out just like that. You can see it coming out. I'm going to hook it in, I'm going to pull it, there it goes, look at that. I'm going to pull it out one more time right here, and I'm using my tool to finesse it. I'm taking my tool and I'm twisting it and pulling it at the same time. Got a little section right here we need to get. Go ahead and pull that out. What we've done is we got rid of that crease. The crease is now gone, and we'll be able to go ahead and hammer and dolly our body line back in shape. See how I'm using that tool? I'm hooking it in there and I'm using the end of my tool as a tool. See here, watch this. I stick it in there and see how I use that, and I'm moving it around. That's what these hooks are made for. That's how you're supposed to use these. Now that that one's almost done, let's go up here on the top. Gonna repeat our process. All we want to do is get a cherry red. Gonna use our tool to pull it out with. Just like this. You can see it coming out easy. It's going to look really, really nice when we're done. Got to get a little more heat right here. Because we're using our tool to pull that dent. We're not using a slide hammer. We're not drilling a shitload of holes on it. And we're getting her done. Okay, what I'll do next is I'll come back with my hammer and dolly. I'll hammer and dolly that out really nice. I'll make it look real slick. Then once that's done, we'll come back, we'll take our MIG welder and we'll weld these holes up and grind them down, and you'll never know that we used this tool to do that job. This is a hook tool. You can buy them as a kit. I don't have the kit. This is the only one I own because this is the only one you need. If you can just buy one of these, I guarantee you this will be the only tool that you'll ever use out of that whole kit. I've probably had this for over 30 years, 35 years, probably 37 years since I've been in business, but yeah, very good tool. This is the situation we got. You can actually make one of these, but the situation with buying the tool is this is hardened steel. If I would have took any other type of steel and got that on that real hot metal and started pulling on it, this would have melted probably or bent. So that's why I recommend to actually buy the set of tools instead of make your own, because this is a very hardened steel that can take a lot of heat. I actually modified this one. I cut the end off of it. I wish I wouldn't have, because the end was actually kind of curved, and that's why I cut it off, but I should have straightened it out and made it longer. When you're pulling on that, you want to stick it in there, and then you want to kind of move it around. Take your tool and when it's hot and kind of go like this with it. Do you see how I'm doing that? All right, same on this dent here. I took it and I took the tool and I gouged into it. How can I do that? I gouged into it and then I twisted it inside the holes. This dent here, I wish I would have started on that dent to show you. This was crushed in bigger than my fist right here, and there was no way to go inside here where I'm replacing this panel because it's right up next to the floor and the extension panel, and that's what I had to do right here. But once again, I'll come back with my hammer and dolly. I'll hammer and dolly that out, and I'll do the same with that. Weld them holes up, and bam, we are done fixing our dent that we would have had to replace this quarter panel on. Now that we got all our dents pulled out, we had one up here, one here, down here. We went ahead and used our torch and our hook tool. Remember the hook tool I showed you? Now it's time to start welding all these holes up. You can see I already started down here. Now what I'm doing is I'm flip-flopping back and forth from hole to hole because I don't want to warp the steel. We're not going to use a wet sponge on this. It's not big enough to do that. So what we're going to do, we'll weld one here, we'll come up here, finish this weld job, come back down here, do a couple here, go ahead and get one of these, blah, 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 until we're done welding them up. Alrighty then, and now what we can do is we'll go ahead and grind these welds down. We'll form our panels the way that we want them by hammering down them, and then once that's done, we'll do our minor body work. And what we've done is we've actually saved a quarter panel from being tortured, molested, and replaced. We went ahead and kept the factory original sheet metal here, and it's going to be 100% better than trying to replace that whole quarter panel. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you and telling you how to do it right. By what we just did here, you saw the damage that was on that, and now it's fixed. Take it easy. So this is Pete over at D.I.Y. Auto School, showing you all the tech tips and tricks that I can think of. And it's not really about the tech tips and tricks. Well, this one was. But most of my videos are about getting off your ass and fucking doing something in life and quit being a loser and feeling sorry for yourself. Because if you're that person that is sitting there watching this video because you ain't got nothing better to do and you mope and groan all over the house and or wherever you live, you might live on the streets, I don't know, or maybe in the zoo, you might be a fucking animal and live in a zoo. But if you're that guy that mope and gropes all your life and whines and cries, it's your fault, buddy. It's your fault. Because you put yourself in that position. Nobody else did it for you. Wake up and realize that the world doesn't owe you a fucking thing. And it's time to get her done. Do it right, because if you're not doing it right, you definitely aren't motherfucking doing it at all.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.